Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I'm at work and I have a couple of new servers, and they're brand new HP servers. They're the generation 9 and it's the model DL380, and I'm gonna be unboxing these and see what's inside. Cable management, the rack rail, here is the new server. It's really light, kind of lightweight. I think it's a bit flimsy, but that's just me. There is not a lot of things on the front here. There are two empty slots here that can be occupied by a disk array like over here, but right now they're just empty. And over here we actually have a disk array, and we have a couple of disks in it. These are 450 gigabyte, 10,000 RPMs SAS drives, and they go in like that. Very nice. And over here we have a tiny little light panel that tells us how the server is doing. We have the information card with the serial number and stuff there, and we have one USB connection. Around the back we have slots for PSI cards, and there seems to be able to put 3 PSI cards in here. There's a couple of USBs. There's the ILO adapter right there. There is 4 gigabit connections, and there is the monitor connector, and there's a couple of power supplies, very small, rather cute ones. Let's open up and see what's inside. And there's a handle here, takes off the cover. And on the back of the cover there is a lot of information about how this server works and what to do and what not to do. Yeah, here is the disk array thing and what everything is on the back. And here is the server. It looks very similar to the generation 6 that I have done a preview about, although the RAID controller has moved down here. Never seen that before. And the built-in RAID controller is not even in use. And the power supplies are here. I think these power supplies are made so that they're compatible with the 1U server, because they only take up half the space in here. And in here we have boot options. We have a micro SD card, and we have 2 USB ports right there. This server is only using one processor. This is a very fast processor. It's a E5 2667 version 3. It's a 6-core processor, and I think it's able to do about 3.23 gigahertz, something around that area. And the server is really well equipped with memory as well. These memory blocks are 32 gigabyte blocks, so very powerful, and very big at least. And here is the backplane of the hard disk drives, and we have fans here, hot pluggable, very nice. Little BIOS battery right there. This server only comes with one slot for putting in PSI ports. If you want to put in more, you have to buy one more, and it can be put in right here, but it doesn't come with the server as a standard. It comes with one, and you have to buy one more. These two servers are going into the rack over here. I'm gonna place them right here beneath this IBM server, which, well, I did a video about replacing one of these hard drives on that server. You can look back at my videos and see that. But we're gonna be putting in the two servers here, and these are just blinders to prevent false airflow. Here's the rails. Haven't seen this model before, but I'll probably be able to figure this out. Right rear and right front, so that one goes on the right.
I didn't do much talking for the rest of this video. I got tired of yelling at the camera because it was so noisy down at this server room.
It's a rather simple question of pushing it in there, and there's a locking mechanism that pulls it into place.
Hewlett Packard or HP, they really need some credit for these rails. They're really strong and steady. It's like the old IBM rails.
Here we are on the back, and I can see there's some washer things that I get
Before the Model 2 and 3, the 3650 Model 1, they had some really good rails. These are from the old server rack mounting systems, and Ventures has stopped using these, and I'm really not complaining because they are a lot of trouble to work with.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, we have the rails to put on the side of the server. Yeah, this is something that HP is doing that I haven't seen on IBM and the now Lenovo X series. But on HP servers you have to put on these
But
rails.
it's really not a problem. These rails are so easy to install. It's just put them on and click, and they're there. There's a little system for taking them off again, and it's just as easy. Well, first server has been mounted, and now it's on with the next one, mounting the rails in the rack and mounting the rails on the server and putting the server over at the rack. And I'm putting in some air filters that I took out to make rooms. I'm just putting them beneath the servers. After having mounted the rack rails on the back of the server, I'm now ready to put in the second server just beneath the first one. Yeah, it's always a little difficult. These are very expensive servers, so I really don't want to drop them. Each of these servers are about 60,000 Danish crowns. On the back of the server there is the cable management things, which I'm unwrapping here, and it's designed so that you can pull out the server and all the cables will still be plugged in, and you can, well, change some of the hot pluggable things inside of the server while the server is running, and this cable management thing is providing that for us. I must admit that it's not very often that I really use this feature, like pulling out the server with power on it, but in some situations it's a good thing to be able to do it and to change something inside of the server while it's running, or just having a look inside it while it's running. When you're using these cable management device things, you have to take into account that the cables has to be at least a meter longer than the otherwise, because the cable management device takes a meter of cable, because the server has to be able to be pulled all the way out of the rack. I have been connecting cables on the servers and they look pretty nice. The only problem is that these cable things is not able to sit in there nicely, and they come with this little attachment for exactly that. And you plug that in, and then the cable management thingy is able to sit like that. Yeah, and this little strip had gone loose. And there's of course two of them, because there's two servers. Put that in. There is 3 network connections and 2 power connections in these servers. And the power connection, there is 2 switches, and the cables are divided into 2 switches for redundancy, and also the power lines are in 2 power strips to have some redundancy. On the front of the server, I've now turned on the servers. You can see they're on. At the very start there was some activity on the hard drive, and here I am connecting the monitor on this table, ordinary VGA port, and here is a nice little thing that you might recognize from my Datacenter, a PS2 mouse and keyboard going into a USB, and here I'm pressing to set up the ILO adapter. And here is a view of the screen booting, and I had forgotten what CPU was in this. It's actually an E5 2643 version 3, and it's a 3.4 gigahertz processor. There is 256 gigabytes of memory in this server. When booting the server, you have to press F10 to come in here. It's some kind of a quick install. I've actually never tried this before, so this is my very first run, and I actually think I got extremely lucky because it just worked. What am I doing? I'm choosing static IP, putting in the IP number that I had reserved for this server on forehand. I also had to go in and configure the switch for the right VLANs to be able to connect to this server. I did not film that. I think I might have done that in another video, but I'm probably not gonna do it again. Subnet mask I'm configuring here. Oh, I have configured that. That's the gateway, sorry. And now I just need to find the cross, or the little thingy to approve the license agreement. Come on, it's up. And finger, yeah, there we are. Have to put a little thingy in that, and we can go on to the next one, and it will be installing something right here. And here we get a little notification that it's I can't remember if it saved it or if it's telling me that I have to reboot the ILO adapter before the changes will take place, but well, I continued, and here I'm just clapping the cable management thing. I'm not sure why I did that. And I actually already got a connection to it, and on my phone I have been around the front of the server, and I have taken pictures of the password and the username for accessing the ILO 4 adapter. And here I have moved on to the next one, configuring the static IP number for the bottom server, and starting with approving the license agreement. The trick is really that when I have configured this and I can access the server through the ILO adapter, I don't need to be in this data center no more. And this data center is like, 1 hour and 45 minutes away from where I normally work. So to go out here and mount a couple of servers and configure some networking and put in some cables, I want to spend as little time as possible here and just go back to my comfy office space and sit there and install everything. Now I'm waiting for the computer to configure the ILO adapter, and here I am trying to open a new tab and click in the IP number of the new ILO adapter, and as far as I remember, it didn't answer right away. I had to wait a little bit. And something completely different. These servers are really meant for high performance, but also they only have one processor and only 6 cores. And that's because they're gonna be running some software that are licensed per core. So instead of having a 2 CPU system with a lot of cores, we have gone for one CPU system with just 6 cores in each. And the reason we have 2 servers is for redundancy. If one goes down, we need the other one to be able to run. And here I'm showing the pictures on my phone that I took of the servers. So instead of running forth and back and writing down passwords and usernames and so on, I just take pictures of it and I bring those back and I use them for documentation and fill in the numbers in my documentation. And now I have access to the second ILO adapter on the second server, so now I'm actually just gonna be packing up my stuff and going back home. This laptop is, I don't use this very often. It actually lives in my car. It's a backup laptop that just stays in my car. And when I turned off this laptop, it had found 21 Windows updates. It took me half an hour to get out of here, even though I was done. So that was a teaser. That was pretty irritating, and I didn't dare to just shut it up. And now I think I'm about ready to say something important again, or at least end this video.
Well, now I got access to the 2 HP servers, enough access so that I can reach them from outside, and I can configure the rest and install an operating system and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.